Hi, welcome to our data mining course assignment. The topic that we're going to present to you today is combating COVID-19 outbreaks. This is part A of the assignment, and our group members comprises of Azwa bin Kamarudin and myself, Hon-Loong. In this assignment itself, we have a couple of milestones. And for this particular video, we will focus on the part A, which is web crawling of real-time data. Subsequently, there will be multiple other phases that will touch on data management using data lake or Hive data warehouse, assessing and processing of data from data lake or Hive data warehouses, interpretation and communications of data insights, which will be an individual work. And lastly, we will actually deploy the results of our data mining using Flask for web and Kiwi for mobile application. Ever since the early February 2020, we have seen COVID-19 virus been outbreaking tremendously across the world. And these have really caused a lot of worries to people, be it on their safety, on their own personal rights, as well as we've seen the significant impact to the business, as well as the travel arrangement that people have, be it for leisure or business. Hence, our group have decided to do this assignment to predict the spread of the virus in each of the infected regions by crawling to a very well-known university known as Johns Hopkins University, where they have actually accumulated all the data from World Health Organization and actually help us to start leveraging on their time lapse to maintain and manage the daily data outbreaks and cases that they have actually discovered. For this particular assignment, our team have chosen Python as the programming language to help us to do the web crawling in order for us to acquire the data that we can actually get from the website in a real-time manner. And in this particular crawling approach, our group have decided to use the powerful package that comes along with Python known as BeautifulSoup, where it can actually help us to pull out the data in an unstructured format, be it in HTML or XML files. The particular methods that we have actually chosen to do our web crawling in terms of how we've coded the application can also be found in the GitHub that is actually posted as highlighted in this particular slide. And based on the data that we have acquired, we will also be doing our own interpretation to better understand the daily total cases of confirmed, date, and recover per locations cases. So how do we crawl the website to acquire the data? Basically, our approach is that we have chosen Python as the language for us to start coding the method for us to crawl the data from the website. And as you can see from this particular code itself, what we have done was we have actually broken it into 3 different components in terms of how we crawl the data. The first is to look at the confirmed cases, followed by the death cases, and lastly, the number of recovered cases. And as you can see from the code itself, we have actually used the BeautifulSoup package to help us to crawl the information from the website in a real-time manner. And this particular information that we have crawled will actually be stored in a data frame, and we will be able to manage this data frame through the information that we have acquired in a manner that we would like to interpret the data. So how do we do that? Basically, based on these information that we have crawled, we have actually did our initial interpretation of how we've seen the trending of the data that was captured. As you can see from this initial visual plots that we have acquired, on the chart in the left-hand side of the screen is where you can see the number of reported cases, and on the right-hand side are the chart for the patients that have recovered from the COVID-19 outbreaks across ASEAN countries. Now, overall, as you can see from the trending of these outbreaks itself, Singapore has actually the most number of recorded confirmed cases, and still is increasing exponentially. Lately, Malaysia is actually picking up very, very fast in terms of capturing these outbreaks of virus, and we have seen Malaysia has now reached to the second spots across the ASEAN countries, followed by Thailand, which is actually the third most recorded confirmed case in ASEAN. However, based on all this chart that you have seen itself as well, the number of reported cases that have recovered from the COVID-19 outbreaks is actually from Singapore, and followed by Thailand, and then Malaysia. In terms of comparison, when we try to look at the outbreaks, from the ASEAN countries against the mainland China, we found that it's actually a bit difficult for us to currently do our analysis due to the fact that the China numbers of cases are just too huge compared to the number of cases that is reported in ASEAN countries. And in terms of the date cases that we have seen so far, there are actually 3 reported date cases that has happened in ASEAN country. One from Philippines, the other case was reported from Thailand, and another case is actually from Indonesia. So these are comparative in terms of date cases are relatively low in the ASEAN region in comparing to countries like in China or in other Asia Pacific countries. So in summary, what we have done in this particular assignment was that we have used the web crawling process to extract the data from the websites to validate and check the contents. The data that we have actually acquired are being interpreted and crawled in an unstructured manner from CSV or XML format. Throughout this process as well, we have learned that web crawling skill is actually getting more important in data science, as we are currently in the era of information explosion. And by acquiring the data from the web crawling process itself, it actually helps us to now proceed with our subsequent milestones of our assignment in order for us to proceed with our data mining analytics to provide more powerful insights. With this, we would like to thank you for going through our presentations for Part A. And shall there be any questions, we are looking forward to hear from you during the class. Thank you very much.